Every single morning, more than 30 million adults over the age of 60 wake up, swing their legs over the side of the bed, and feel it before they even stand. That heavy, waterlogged sensation in the ankles. The shoes that fit yesterday and refuse to fit today. The sock lines that stay carved into the skin an hour after the socks come off. Not occasionally, not after a long flight, every single day. And here is what almost every one of them has been told. It's just your age. It's just circulation. Elevate your legs and drink less water. That is not an answer. That is a dismissal wrapped in a white coat. In more than 15 years of clinical practice, I have watched patient after patient walk into my office with swollen legs and crushing afternoon fatigue, carrying a bag full of diuretic prescriptions, compression stockings they cannot get on by themselves, and a quiet certainty that their body is simply failing. In the overwhelming majority of those cases, the legs are not the enemy. The legs are the messenger, and the message has almost nothing to do with the legs themselves. Subscribe to Dr. Waterling right now and hit that like button. We are working toward 1,000 subscribers, and we are building this channel on one principle. The system makes money when you stay sick, not when you get better. Every subscriber moves us closer to a community that refuses to accept it's just aging as a medical diagnosis. Because that is a lie. It is a dangerous illusion, and it needs to be shattered right now. Here is what nobody tells you in a 12-minute office visit. Swollen legs after 60 are not a disease. They are a signal light on the dashboard of a body whose return system has lost its pump. And the fatigue you feel by 3 in the afternoon, the bone-deep exhaustion that makes you sink into a chair and not want to get up, that fatigue is not separate from the swelling. It is the same problem viewed from a different angle. One mechanism, two symptoms. And once you understand it, you can begin to reverse both in roughly 10 to 15 minutes a day. Starting today, using nothing more than your own body, a kitchen, and a willingness to stop believing the story that you are simply old. Let me explain exactly what is happening inside your body. Your circulatory system has two halves that almost nobody talks about correctly. The first half, the arterial side, pushes blood out of the heart and down into the legs. That side has a pump, your heart. It is powerful, it is rhythmic, and gravity helps it. Blood goes down easily. The second half, the venous side, has to bring that same blood back up to the heart against gravity. And here is what they do not tell you. Your heart does not pull that blood back up. Your heart cannot suck. It can only push. So how does roughly 5 liters of blood climb out of your legs every minute against gravity and return to the chest? The answer is the second heart. And almost no one over 60 has ever heard the term. Your calf muscles, the muscles on the back of your lower leg between the knee and the ankle, function as a peripheral pump. Every time you contract them, they squeeze the deep veins running through them and force blood upward. Inside those veins are tiny one-way valves, leaflets of thin tissue that snap shut between squeezes so the blood cannot fall back down. Contract, push up. Relax, valve closes. Contract, push up again. Step by step, the blood climbs the ladder back to the heart. Now here is where age enters the picture, and not in the way you think. After 50, you lose roughly 1 to 2% of your total muscle mass every single year if you do not actively work against it. By 65, the average sedentary adult has lost between 20 and 30% of the calf muscle they had at 40. The second heart is shrinking. The pump is weakening. And at the same time, the venous valves themselves begin to thicken, stiffen, and in many cases leak. When a valve no longer closes completely, blood that was pushed upward slides back down between contractions. Doctors call this venous reflux or chronic venous insufficiency. Between 40 and 80% of adults over 60 have some degree of it, and most of them have no idea. That is the mechanism. The blood pools in the lower legs. The pressure inside those veins rises. Fluid is pushed out of the bloodstream and into the surrounding tissue. Your ankles swell. Your calves feel heavy. Your skin, over time, takes on a brownish tint near the ankles as iron from broken down red blood cells stains the tissue. And here is the part that connects everything. While that fluid sits in your legs, it is not in circulation. Your heart is working with a reduced effective blood volume. Your brain, your muscles, your organs are all running on a slightly emptier tank. That is the fatigue. That is why you crash at 3 p.m. That is why climbing 1 flight of stairs feels like climbing 3. The swelling and the exhaustion are the same problem. Now, how do you check whether this is actually happening in you? Sit down right now, pull up one pant leg, and press your thumb firmly into the front of your shin bone for 5 seconds. Right where the bone runs along the front of your lower leg, about halfway between your knee and your ankle. Press count to 5, release. Look at the skin. If your thumb leaves a visible indentation that takes more than 2 or 3 seconds to disappear, that is called pitting edema. You have fluid in the tissue. The deeper the dent and the longer it stays, the more advanced the process. Grade 1 is a barely visible dent that rebounds quickly. Grade 3 or 4 is a deep pit that stays for 30 seconds or longer. Most of my patients over 60 are sitting at grade 1 or 2 and have never been told to perform this test. Now, before I go further, I need to be direct with you about something. There are forms of leg swelling that are not what we are discussing today, and you need to know the difference. If only one leg is swollen suddenly and it is warm to the touch, red, painful, or tender along the calf, that can be a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot, and it is a medical emergency. Go to an emergency room. Do not wait. Do not apply anything we discuss in this video. If you have sudden shortness of breath, chest pain, or you are coughing up pink frothy material along with swelling, that can be heart failure decompensating, and that also requires immediate care. If your swelling is accompanied by dramatic weight gain over a few days, yellowing of the skin or eyes, or foamy urine, those point to kidney or liver involvement that needs evaluation. Everything I am about to share supports your body's own venous return system. It does not replace medical evaluation when something needs to be clinically examined. So why has your doctor not walked you through any of this? Why are you on your third diuretic prescription with no improvement? Here's the truth, and it is uncomfortable. The system you rely on for your health is not built to teach you how your second heart works. It is built to treat you when symptoms become severe enough to bill for. There is no procedure code for spent 25 minutes teaching the patient calf pump physiology. There is a code for prescribing furosemide. There is a code for fitting compression stockings. There is a code for sclerotherapy and vein ablation. Your next appointment will not include a 20-minute lesson on venous valves because there is no revenue in it and there is no time on a rushed visit to explain fluid mechanics. So what happens instead? You get a diuretic, a water pill. And what does a diuretic actually do? It forces your kidneys to dump fluid through urination. That fluid comes out of your bloodstream, which temporarily reduces the pressure-pushing fluid into your tissues. Your ankles look better for a day or two? But here is what nobody tells you. The diuretic did absolutely nothing to fix the weak calf pump or the leaky valves. The mechanism is still broken, so the fluid comes back. Your dose gets increased. Eventually, you are dehydrated, your electrolytes are off, you are urinating 6 times a night, and your legs are still swollen by evening. I have had patients on 3 different diuretics simultaneously who saw more improvement in 2 weeks of the protocol I am about to share than in 3 years of escalating pharmaceutical management. You have probably also been told to wear compression stockings. And compression stockings genuinely can help. But the typical story goes like this. You are handed a pair of 20 to 30 millimeter mercury stockings. You cannot physically pull them on past your heel because they are too tight and your hands are too weak. You give up after 3 days and the package sits in a drawer. No one taught you how to put them on. No one fitted them properly. No one explained that they only work if you wear them from the moment you get out of bed before the swelling starts. So they fail and you blame yourself. You have tried elevating your legs. You have cut back on salt until food tastes like cardboard. You have bought magnesium. You have bought herbal diuretic teas. You have tried apple cider vinegar. And by 4 p.m., your ankles still look like bread dough. I am here to tell you that none of those interventions were wrong exactly. They were just incomplete. They addressed the fluid without addressing the pump. Now here is where it gets critical. I am going to give you a complete, clinically organized protocol that targets the actual mechanism. This is what I have refined over 15 years of watching patients reverse measurable edema and recover hours of daily energy. It costs almost nothing. The ingredients come from a regular grocery store. The exercises require no equipment. And the results, in the overwhelming majority of cases, begin to show within the first 7 to 10 days. We are going to work on 4 fronts simultaneously. First, we are going to wake up and strengthen the second heart, your calf pump. Second, we are going to support the venous valves and the vessel walls nutritionally. Third, we are going to reduce the inflammatory load that makes vessel walls leakier than they need to be. Fourth, we are going to use mechanical drainage techniques that move accumulated fluid out of the tissue and back into circulation. Let me start with the cornerstone exercise. It is called the heel drop. Stand upright behind a sturdy chair, feet shoulder width apart, hands resting lightly on the back of the chair for balance, not for support. Rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels about 2 to 3 centimeters off the floor. Hold for 1 second at the top. Then let your heels drop back down to the floor with a light, firm impact. Not a slam, a controlled drop. You should feel a mild vibration traveling from your calves up through your thighs and into your abdomen. That vibration is doing real mechanical work. It is shaking the venous valves back into competence and stimulating the calf muscle to contract reflexively. Repeat this 30 times at a pace of roughly 1 drop per second. Now here is the protocol. You will perform 30 heel drops 3 times per day. Morning after breakfast, midday around lunchtime, evening 2 hours before bed. That is 90 heel drops daily, total time investment approximately 3 minutes. If you have severe arthritis in your knees or ankles, you can do this exercise seated, pressing the balls of your feet into the floor and lifting your heels, then dropping them. The vibration is reduced, but the muscular contraction is preserved. If you have a history of recent hip or knee surgery, ankle fracture, or active foot ulceration, do not perform this exercise without clearing it with your physician first. The second exercise is the ankle pump. Sit in a chair, feet flat on the floor. Slowly point your toes downward as far as they will comfortably go. Then pull them back up toward your shins as far as they will go. Down and up, down and up. Each direction should take about 2 seconds. Do 20 repetitions on each foot 3 times per day. You can do this while watching television, while reading, while sitting at the table after a meal. This exercise activates the deep calf muscles that the heel drop does not fully reach. The third exercise is the wall-supported calf stretch. Stand facing a wall, place your hands on the wall at shoulder height, step your right foot back about 60 to 90 centimeters, keep your right heel pressed firmly to the floor, and bend your left knee forward until you feel a distinct pulling sensation along the back of your right calf. Hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Switch legs. Do 2 sets on each side. This lengthens the calf muscle, restores the full pumping range, and improves venous return at every step you take throughout the day. Now to the kitchen. The single most important nutritional intervention for venous insufficiency and tissue edema is a compound called rutein, along with its close relatives hesperidin and diosmin. These are flavonoids that strengthen capillary walls and reduce the leakage of fluid into surrounding tissue. They are found abundantly in buckwheat, in the white pith of citrus fruits, in red onions, and in dark berries. A meta-analysis published in the journal Phlebology examined micronized purified flavonoid fractions and demonstrated statistically significant reductions in leg circumference, heaviness, and pain in patients with chronic venous insufficiency. Here is the daily morning preparation. Take 50 grams, about a half cup, of raw buckwheat groats. Rinse them in cool water. Place them in a small pot with 250 milliliters, about 1 cup of water, and a pinch of salt. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat to low, cover and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until the water is absorbed and the groats are soft. Remove from heat. Stir in 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed flaxseed oil and the zest of half a lemon. Eat this within 20 to 30 minutes of waking, before any coffee. The rutin in buckwheat, the omega-3 fatty acids in flaxseed oil, and the bioflavonoids in lemon zest work together to strengthen vessel walls and reduce inflammatory leakage. In the afternoon, around 3 or 4 p.m., when the fatigue typically peaks, prepare this drink. Take 250 milliliters, about 1 cup, of warm but not boiling water. Add the juice of half a lemon, 1 teaspoon of raw honey, a quarter teaspoon of ground turmeric, 2 or 3 pinches of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of finely chopped fresh parsley. Stir well. Drink slowly over 10 minutes. The turmeric with black pepper reduces systemic inflammation that makes vessels leakier. The parsley is a mild natural diuretic that supports the kidneys without depleting potassium. The lemon and honey provide vitamin C and flavonoids that further support vessel integrity. Now I want to share a case. Margaret, age 68, came to me with bilateral leg swelling severe enough that she could no longer wear her regular shoes by midday. She was on 2 diuretics. She had tried compression stockings and given up because she could not get them on. Her afternoon fatigue was so severe she had stopped attending her grandchildren's school events because she could not stay upright past 2 p.m. Her primary care physician had told her, and I quote her exactly, "This is just what happens after 65. I taught her the heel drop, the ankle pump, and the calf stretch. I gave her the buckwheat breakfast and the afternoon anti-inflammatory drink. I asked her to do 10 minutes of leg elevation every evening, lying flat on the floor with her legs resting up against the wall at roughly a 90-degree angle for 10 to 15 minutes. Within 9 days, the pitting in her ankles had reduced from a clear grade 2 to a barely perceptible grade 1. Within 3 weeks, she returned to her cardiologist, who, without knowing what she was doing, reduced one of her diuretics by half. By the 8-week mark, she was off 1 diuretic entirely, attending her granddaughter's afternoon recitals, and walking 30 minutes a day without needing to sit down. The mechanism was never her age. The mechanism was a sleeping pump and a quietly inflamed venous system that nobody had ever addressed. Now, the most important thing I want you to hear. Here is your complete daily schedule, organized morning to evening. When you wake, do not jump up. Stay lying down for 1 minute and perform 20 ankle pumps in bed, both feet simultaneously. This wakes the calf pump before gravity has a chance to load your legs. Then sit up slowly, stand, and walk to the kitchen. Prepare the buckwheat breakfast. While it cooks, perform your first set of 30 heel drops. Eat breakfast. After breakfast, perform the wall calf stretch, both sides, 30 seconds each, 2 sets. Through the morning, every hour you spend seated, stand up, walk for 2 minutes, and do 10 heel drops at your desk or in your kitchen. Set a timer if you have to. The single worst thing for venous return is uninterrupted sitting. 2 minutes of movement every hour cuts your daily edema in half. At midday, around lunchtime, perform your second set of 30 heel drops before eating. Eat a lunch that includes either red onion, citrus, or dark berries. A simple option is a salad with mixed greens, sliced red onion, orange segments including some of the white pith, a handful of blueberries, walnuts, and olive oil with lemon juice. Around 3 or 4 p.m. Prepare and drink the turmeric parsley drink. This is also a good time for your second wall calf stretch. In the evening, 2 hours before bed, perform your third set of 30 heel drops and 20 ankle pumps each foot. Then lie flat on the floor, scoot your hips up against a wall, and rest your legs vertically up the wall for 10 to 15 minutes. This is the legs up the wall position. Gravity does the work of draining accumulated fluid out of your legs and back into circulation. Breathe slowly through your nose, 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. You should feel a noticeable lightness in your legs by the time you stand up. For sleep, place a folded blanket or a small pillow under the foot of your mattress so that your legs rest roughly 10 to 15 centimeters higher than your heart through the night. This is not the same as propping pillows under your knees, which actually impedes venous return by bending the hip. The elevation must be at the foot of the bed so the entire leg slopes gently upward. Now, expected results. Within the first 7 to 10 days, you should notice that your shoes fit more consistently throughout the day and that the deep sock lines fade or disappear. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the pitting test should show measurable improvement. Within 6 to 8 weeks, afternoon fatigue should noticeably lift, and you should find yourself able to stay active later into the day than before. By 3 months of consistent practice, the calf muscle itself begins to rebuild, the venous valves stabilize, and the entire system works closer to how it did 20 years ago. A word about medications. If you are currently taking a prescription diuretic, do not stop it based on anything in this video. As your edema improves, your physician may choose to reduce your dose. That is a conversation to have with the doctor who prescribed it, not a decision to make alone. If you are taking blood thinners, the anti-inflammatory drink with turmeric should be discussed with your prescribing physician because turmeric in concentrated doses can mildly affect coagulation. If you have advanced kidney disease, the parsley and the protein adjustments should be reviewed with your nephrologist. None of this replaces your medical team. It works alongside them. How old are you? Write it in the comments below. I want to see which age group is reading this so that future videos can be tailored to exactly what your body needs. 62, 68, 74, 79. Whatever your number is, put it in the comments. This community is built on the people in it, and I want to know who is here. And listen to me carefully. Your swollen legs are not the enemy. Your fatigue is not the proof that you are finished. Your body is not broken. The second heart in your calves has been quietly underused for years, and the venous system has been quietly inflamed by a diet and a sedentary pattern that nobody warned you about. The moment you start contracting that pump, supporting those vessels nutritionally, and giving gravity 15 minutes a day to work in your favor instead of against you, the mechanism begins to repair itself. You are not helpless in front of your own biology. The only thing this requires is understanding and 10 to 15 consistent minutes a day. If this video helped you understand what is actually happening in your legs, send it to someone you care about. A parent, a spouse, a friend who has been told that swollen ankles and afternoon exhaustion are just what 65 looks like. They are not, and that person deserves to know it. Subscribe to Dr. Waterling, hit the like button, and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Every person who joins this channel is one more adult over 60 who refuses to accept dismissal as a diagnosis. We are building something here, and I want you in it. I will see you in the next video.